Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to apply your fragrances. As much as we talk about fragrances on my channel, I figured I should have some video to tell y'all how to apply fragrances. I know I've casually mentioned it in some videos, but it's time to make a dedicated video for that. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So step number one, make sure your skin is moisturized. If you ever have issues with your fragrances lasting, the issue might be you're applying your fragrance on dry skin. So always make sure you use some lotion, Vaseline, or something to make sure your skin is moisturized. Personally, I either use the EOS Vanilla Cashmere lotion or I'll use cocoa butter just to make sure my skin is moisturized. But I usually don't have a problem with my fragrances lasting because my skin is usually pretty oily. So now that we've got that out the way, let's talk about where we actually want to apply our fragrances. When you're applying your fragrances, think about your pulse points because those are the places you want to hit, because your pulse points are the warmer parts of your body, so it makes your fragrance radiate more. Your pulse points are going to be your wrists, behind your ears, your neck area, your chest is a good spot as well, behind the knees, and your ankles as well. And if you hit all these points, you're gonna create the perfect scent bubble for yourself. And this is especially important if you like people to smell you when you walk in the room. You probably gonna get a lot of compliments. And I also wanna note too, like, you don't have to hit every single pulse point, because usually I don't, because I really don't like to overspray. And especially if I'm wearing something heavy like what I wore tonight, Selena Exclusive by Parfums de Marly. That's a very heavy fragrance. And usually I only do like 2 sprays of that, and it's already a lot. You know how strong a fragrance is on you, and you know how you like your fragrances to sit on your body. So if you know you're under spray and you don't like to have like too much, only hit your wrists, for example, or you can just do behind your ears. But me personally, like, I used to do like my wrist and then behind my ears. That's usually all I do because I really don't like to overspray. But it also depends on what you're wearing too. Like I said, tonight I wore the Parfums de Marly's Selena Exclusive, and the only reason I did like, I think I did like 4 sprays. I think I did 4 sprays. I think I hit behind my ears and my shoulders because I had a sweater on, so my direct skin was gonna be showing. But there's also something to think about too. Like, what are you wearing? Like, are you wearing something where your skin is gonna be exposed? If not, like, just hit the spots that are exposed. And also I want to mention too, if you're wearing something heavy like the Selena Exclusive, you might only want to do 1 or 2 sprays, not because like you don't want to overspray and then irritate everybody around you, but also you don't want to irritate yourself. Because I know when I first started wearing that fragrance, I would spray it directly on my wrist, and my wrist, they come in front of my face all the time. So I noticed like I kept smelling that fragrance and it was kind of giving me a headache. So now whenever I wear it, I usually make sure I just hit my backside. I don't want to hit anything like my chest or like my wrist, because I don't want to keep smelling it. I don't want to give myself a headache. And if you're someone who has fragrances that typically give you a headache, try applying it to like places behind your ear, like behind your knees or behind your shoulder blades, to see if that makes you have a more enjoyable experience with your fragrance. And also, let's talk about whether you should apply it to your skin or your clothes. Personally, I prefer to apply my fragrances to my skin, but it's totally up to you. I notice though, whenever I apply a fragrance to my clothes, like, it typically lasts a little bit longer. I guess the fabric just really absorbs the fragrance. But one thing I do notice, like, if I wear something like Parfums de Marly's Selena Exclusive, I'm keep mentioning that because that's what I wore tonight. If I apply that to my clothes, sometimes I notice when I wash my clothes, like, I'll still smell it on there, and that's something to keep in mind if you got a fragrance that's really strong. So that's why I typically don't like to apply perfumes to my clothes. And also too, I've heard some people say their perfumes have discolored their clothes, and I don't shop a whole lot, and whenever I do shop, like, it's something that I really like usually, so I don't want anything to ruin my clothes. So keep that in mind too. With that being said, I usually prefer to apply directly to my skin. They just tend to smell different when you apply them directly to your skin. It's like your body chemistry. It really gets a chance to just work with the fragrance and make your own little unique smells. Another thing I try to keep in mind when I'm deciding where to apply my fragrance is where I'm going. If I'm going somewhere where I know I'm gonna have a lot of contact with people, like a family reunion, for example, I know I'm gonna be hugging a lot of people. And if I want to show off my fragrance, I'm gonna hit a spot like behind my ears, or if I'm shaking hands a lot, I'll hit my wrist, because that way the fragrance is gonna be like something that people are gonna notice. Because like, if you're shaking a lot of hands, like, your hand is going toward them. If you're doing a lot of hugs, like, their face is gonna be like close to your neck, so they're gonna get a whiff of your fragrance. So little things like that I like to keep in mind when I really want to stand out with whatever I'm wearing. And y'all, I hope all of this is making sense. But if y'all have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments below. And if you're liking this video so far, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell notification so you can be notified when I post a new video. But okay, back to the video. I'm trying to follow all my notes and I feel like I'm kind of going all over the place. But another thing about how to apply your fragrances too, I know I mentioned to y'all to go ahead and apply directly to your skin. But one thing I notice a lot of people do whenever they apply their fragrances, they'll like spray it and then they'll like walk through it. Don't do that. I mean, if you like doing that, go ahead. Like you can do whatever you want to do. But if you really want your fragrance to last and really stand out, you want to apply it directly to your skin, because you're really losing a lot of fragrance if you're just spraying it out in the air and then walking into it. Like think about that, and then think about how much fragrance actually lands on you when you apply it directly to your skin. Like all of that is going to your skin. And then you see how this looks right here? Like it looks kind of wet. Another thing I know a lot of people do, that they'll tap their fragrances. Just let your fragrance sit in your skin and dry. You ain't gotta tap it. Whenever you tap your fragrance, sometimes it messes with the smell of it. So don't tap your fragrance. If it's a little wet and dripping down your skin when you apply it, just let it dry. It's gonna dry. So don't worry about it. If you want to get fragrance on your other wrist, like don't tap it. Like just go ahead and spray another spray on your other wrist. Like you ain't gotta tap it. You do not have to tap your fragrance. Go ahead and let it dry on your skin and then enjoy all the goodness that comes from it. But I just want to make sure I mentioned that, because I see a lot of people doing that. And I also used to do that too until I heard that you're not really supposed to do that. And then once you've done all that, you're ready to go. So let's do a little recap. So first step is making sure your skin is moisturized. And then the second step is deciding where you want to apply your fragrances. Make sure to hit those pulse points like your wrist, behind your ears, your chest, behind your knees, on your ankles, depending on what you're wearing, where you're going, what you're going to be doing, and ultimately how you want that fragrance to make you feel or stand out in a room. And also remember what I said, apply it directly to your skin. Don't spray it in front of you and walk through it unless that's what you really want to do. But I recommend applying it directly to your skin and letting it dry. So also remember, don't tap it in, just let it dry. Give it a second, let it dry. It ain't gonna take nothing but a few seconds, let it dry. But do y'all have any questions? If so, leave them in the comments. But I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see y'all back here for my next video. Bye.